Okay, I'll go through this answer key on assignment 5.13. You can obviously fast forward, rewind as much as you want to make sure you get these. For A, it's positive, it's opening upwards like this. For B, the y-intercept 0, -5. Basically plug in 0, get out -5. For C, we'll do a -b over 2a. So, let's see if it's better with this light off. -8. Look at your A, B, and your C. I think I wrote it over here actually. A is 4, B is 8, C is -5. Back on. So plug those in. -8 over 2 times 4. I got -8 over 8 is -1. That's the x value of your vertex. You got to still find the y value here. To get the y value, you plug in -1 for the x value in your function. So I plugged it in over here. Got 4, right? Negative squared is a positive. So I got 4 minus 8 minus 5 is -9. So that's how I got -1 comma -9 there. Sorry about the glare. Okay, and then part D, you had to use this whole quadratic formula to figure out the roots. So I plugged in here. B was -8. I'm sorry, B is just 8. And then here's 4 times A times C, all over 2 times A. Work that out, okay? You got to kind of take a step at a time. Wind up with this. And then simplify, and it's going to be 2 answers, -8 plus, sorry, one more step, -8. This simplifies to 12. Now you can get 2 answers, -8 plus 12 over 8 and -8 minus 12 over 8. So I divide it into 2 parts here. This one comes out to 1/2, and this one comes out to -20 over 8, which reduces to -5 over 2. Those are the x values of my roots. So that means I got a root at -1/2, 0. And I've got another root at this is 2.5, right? -2.5, 0. Okay, to graph that all out, just graph those points there that I found up here. The y-intercept, right, was there. The vertex was at -1, -9, which is down here. And the 2 roots were at -2.5 and at 1/2. So that gives you a real clear picture of the parabola there. Okay, number 2 gives you this equation, and it says solve using the quadratic formula. You got to get it equal to 0 first. Okay, so I'm adding 9 on each side. Gets to this, 3x squared minus 2x minus 7 equals 0. Now you define your A, your B, and your C. A is 3, B is -2, C is -7, and we're plugging into this quadratic formula again. Because it equals 0, right? The quadratic formula tells me what I plug in to get out of 0. That's why I had to get it equal to 0 first. You're kind of like finding the roots, you could say. Okay, here it is, 2 plus or minus square root. So -2 squared minus 4 times 3 times -7, all over 2 times 3. Work that out. This is 4. This comes out to 84. It's minus a negative again, so that's why it turned to plus a positive, over 6. So 2 plus or minus square root of 88 over 6. And then from there, we're just going to get a decimal answer. It said give, to the nearest tenth. So 2 plus or minus, I put this in the calculator, got 9.38. And then I got my 2 answers, 2 plus 9.38 over 6 and 2 minus 9.38 over 6. Okay. And I just kept going with the calculator. 1.9 and -1.2. Okay, those are the solutions. Those are what would give you an output of 0. All right, and then number 3, let's look over here. You got this function. You said to find the height at 2 seconds. That means just plug in 2 for t. -20 plus 50. I got 30 meters. Part B said find the vertex, -b over 2a. negative 25 over 2 times negative 5. It's negative 25 over 10, 2.5. And then we had to find that's the x value for the vertex. You got to find the y value. So I plugged the 2.5 in for x here. And we're just using a calculator, to figure this out. This came out to 31.25 negative, 62.5 here. And then when I calculated it out, it actually came out to 31.25. Okay, that's the y value. It asks you what this actually means. That means at 2.5 seconds, the height is 31.25 meters. That's the max height, right? That's what that vertex is going to mean in this case. It's the max height the ball gets to. And then the last part there asks you to find the roots again. So formula, plug in your A, your B, and your C. It should look like this: negative 25 plus or minus square root of this is B squared minus 4 times A times C. C is actually 0. Catch that, C is 0 on that equation. Where it went here? C is 0, right? Because there was no C value here. It's kind of like plus 0 at the end. Okay, all over 2 times A. Negative 25 plus or minus square root of 625 minus 0. This is 0, right? Anything times 0 is 0. And negative 10 in the bottom. Keep going with that. Square root of 625 is actually just 25, so I got down to this. And I split off from there and I get my two answers. Negative 25 plus 25 over negative 10 is actually just 0. Over negative 10 is 0. That's one of the answers. And then negative 25 minus 25 over negative 10 is negative 50 over negative 10 is 5. Those are the roots. So at 0, I know I'm getting out 0. At 5, I know I'm getting out 0, right? Roots are just where I get out 0. So that means at 0 seconds, the height is 0 meters. And then at 5 seconds, the height is 0 meters. Basically when the ball is at the ground level. This is when I first shot it in the air. This is when it comes back down and hits the ground. So if you graph that all out, graph that vertex 2.5 was at 31 and then 0.25, I think it was. It's a little above 30. I made that too high, I don't know. It's just above 30. I guess it was all right. The roots were at 0 and 5. And there was also this other point we found, 2,30, right? Gives you a pretty clear picture of that parabola. Ball goes up, hits a peak height, comes back down at 5 seconds. Hits the ground. This is your time, right? 5 seconds. This is the height in meters. Okay, I think that's it, guys.